Good morning everyone, and welcome back to my videos again. Today I am going to be doing a gear and holster review for LAG Tactical. That's LAG Tactical.com. And I was a little hesitant to do another holster review only because I've done a lot of holster reviews. It's pretty much well established what's good and what's bad out there, and but they kind of convinced me to go ahead with this review by asking me basically what I was looking for, and that was something along this line here. This particular product, this is their Defender holster, which is their IWB OWB holster, and this particular product does not have a designation yet. They're not sure if they're going to put it into production. Right now it's kind of unofficially being called the Lima rig. Mostly because I just said I wanted a sheath and magazine carrier that were together, so I didn't have to have so many things I had to put on my belt. I just have to put this on, and I'm done. So they're like, hey, we can do that for you. And they came up with this. This is the second design. The first one had the knife and the magazine switched, and I ended up not liking that. But switching these back around, I have been in love with this product. I've used it at a couple of different classes now, and I really hope they keep it for those of us who carry your TDI knives and also like to have that spare magazine with them. But anyways, I'm going to do a separate I'm going to go over the holster first, and then I'm going to go over the magazine and knife sheath, and we'll see how they work out at the end. Alright, so obviously, like I said, this is their Defender product, their holster. It's either IWB or OWB. It's made of Kydex, and again, it's for my Glock. And I've really been happy with this particular product. And one of the other things I really liked about LAG Tactical was their ability and willingness to work with me on this particular product and kind of make it how I wanted it. So it's a Kydex holster. Of course, it's completely made out of Kydex. And the color combinations come in a wide variety of colors. They gave me a whole list of things to choose from, and I chose gray for the outside so that it would blend in. Black is sometimes just a little bit too dark and kind of stands out through some of my cover garments if I have like a white cover garment or something. But and I just wanted a little hint of color, so I have this little purple color, but you can get a variety of different colors in there. It's got your basic open mouth top and open bottom, so you get any of that debris going through there. It's not a problem. And again, it's a belt holster, so you can use the OWB feature, which is what I have it set up to be right now, or it comes with other belt loops that you put onto the outside, and then you have an IWB feature as well. So this particular holster, if you were to look on their website at the product, at the Defender product, you would see that the actual product has much more of a sweat shield on it, which comes up about to here. I asked them if they would actually cut that down for me. I'm okay with sweat shields, but I don't particularly need them or like them on some products. So I asked them if they'd cut that down, and they did. So they cut it down significantly, but at the same time, they have enough of a lip here, which is kind of flared out, that it covers my a little bit of my magazine release, and I like that I can still press the magazine. Anytime I do reloads or top-offs, where I have a full gun, I go ahead and insert the gun into the holster, and then I will eject the magazine, take the magazine out, I will put an additional round on the top, and then I will just put the magazine into the gun. That way I'm not unnecessarily fiddling with a loaded gun. The gun is holstered, it's safe. So I like that I can still activate the magazine release while the gun is in the holster, but at the same time they also flared it I have a little bit, if you can see here, I have a little bit of an extended slide release here. It's kind of hard to see. So it's not your standard Glock slide release, and I also, this particular one isn't my extended, but I do have an extended magazine release that I will sometimes use. So having that little bit higher of a flare around the slide release and the magazine release, for me, allows me to use either of those products without having my magazines being prematurely ejected or any interference with holstering with that. Another great thing about this particular holster is there's a lot of clearance for that front sight, both being holstered and drawn. A lot of people, one of the first things they like to change on their particular firearms is their sights. So if you were to put like a big dot excess sight or something like that, that would certainly fit in there. This particular holster is very adjustable. I can change the cant to be whatever I want. When I first got it, I kind of looked at the directions of the belt loops here and went, oh, that's kind of funny. They're kind of flared out a little bit. But I realized that once you actually put it on your body, and then once you adjusted things around, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever. Just the way the curve is, it fits very well with how it would curve around your body. I have it kind of set up right now, almost like a strong side cant, almost like a 3 o'clock hold kind of a thing. And I haven't been able to carry this very much IWB, and I will show you why in a little bit. But that's not to say that it's not a good IWB holster. It is. It has that nice reinforced, well, I don't say it's a reinforced mouth because it's Kydex. I mean, you don't have to reinforce Kydex. It's nice and strong, so it'll stay open. So even if you have it in your pants and you have a very tight fitting pants, and it's not going to be a hindrance for holstering it. This Kydex is a very nice, thick, hard Kydex. The materials they use are very nice. They have nice, thick belt loops on either of these that I have not had any issues with this particular product as far as quality is concerned. Some flex to it, but there's no bends and there's no cracks. Kydex, if you bend it and it's not heated, it will kind of start to change colors, and you'll see that here. But we'll get into that in just a second. And I can show you my oopsie that I did with that. Anyways, obviously, because this has no sweat shield on it, as far as Crimson Trace grips are concerned, the way this is set up, this would handle Crimson Trace grips very well. I also like, they have this really deep cutout here for your grip. So I can get a really nice high grip on this Glock before I can get a full and complete and sure firing grip on my entire gun before I even have to think about taking it out of the holster, which is one of the reasons why I asked them to cut down the sweat shield. Because a lot of times with sweat shields, it kind of sticks your thumb out and you really can't get that full, especially if you've got little tiny hands like I do, you can't get that real full shooting grip. But I can get an entirely full shooting grip. And the other thing I really like about this molding, this has a great molding to it. I can actually index my finger like I normally would when shooting. I like to index my trigger finger very high, right here between the crease of the slide and the frame is where I like to index my shooting finger. It's kind of my platform, or my trigger finger. So being able to index that on the holster itself before the gun even comes out of the holster is very nice for me. And then I don't have anything else, you know, compromising my grip on this side either. So I can just bring it right out and it can go right back in. So one of the things, and I do very much like that this has a nice flared mouth on either side for, like I said, for my controls over here, and also just for drawing and then reholstering of the firearm. There is no retention device, no active retention device anyways, but the molding does a very good job of keeping this firearm in the holster. There's that nice sure snap when you holster it, and it's a nice, sure, easy draw from the holster as well, and you'll see that in the drawing portion that I always do too. They use good quality screws on here, good quality, pretty much good quality everything. I have not had any complaints with the quality of this build or materials. The cutting is really good. There are no sharp edges. There's nothing that can get hung up. It's real smooth. I haven't had any kind of abrasiveness issues with this at all. So I like the cut and quality of that Kydex and the molding too. This particular holster, because it's so adjustable, you can kind of wear it in that 3 to 5 o'clock position if you're right-handed, that 7 to 9 position if you're left-handed. But with it being so adjustable, and if you were so inclined, you could certainly do like an IWB with this if you wanted to, or you know, try different positions if that's what you're if that's what you're inclined to do. This particular one is, again, this is pretty specific to make and model. This particular one is about 5 inches across if you look from here to here. So it's about 5 inches across and about, let's see here, about 1 inch and almost 1 3/4 inches thick. So it's not that thick. You're not adding a whole lot to your waistband if you decide to do in the waistband versus out of the waistband. Of course, if you have a thinner gun, if you've got like a single stack gun, it's going to be even thinner than that. Now I'm going to go ahead and switch over to this particular product. Like I said, this was kind of specifically made for me. It was what I wanted, what I was looking for, and they went ahead and came up with this. This was a great idea, and I love it, and I use it still. The magazine retention is very nice. It's got that flared side on that side. The retention is created with this little notch here. It's molded into the the part of the magazine right there, whatever that's called, that keeps that in. Now this particular product, this is the TDI law enforcement knife. As many of you know, it's one of my favorite knives and one that I carry often. I am actually at fault here for ruining the retention on on this particular product. It still works out pretty good. And I'm going to contact LAG and ask them if they have any recommendations for fixing this. I put it away at the end of the day and didn't realize that I hit the back of the knife really hard, and it pressed it back this way, and the thickest part of the hilt or handle, or however you want to call it, kind of got wedged up in here. And had I noticed it immediately and popped it back out, it probably wouldn't have been a problem, but because it sat there all night, you might or may not be able to see, just there's a little bit of discoloration there where it kind of bubbled up just a little bit, and it still works as a sheath, but it's just not as tight as it used to be. So, and you can see how it used to be nice and tight to the point where it was kind of rubbing off some of the powder coating on my knife, which is fine. You may or may not have seen this product in my extreme close quarters video. I wore this to that class and was able to use it when I was doing my retention, or I'm sorry, my force on force scenario with Greg Ellifritz, and was able to get my trainer knife out and stab him in the groin, which was very fun. Anyway, but I really like this product. What it does for me is it, like I said, it keeps down the number of things I have to put on my belt because I have a really small waist and don't like to have all those things put on there. But it also limits the space. You know, if I've got a sheath plus clips and whatever, and then I've got a magazine pouch with clips, and you know, it just adds so much stuff on my little tiny waist, and this allows me to have just one product on my waist in addition to my gun. And here's, bang, there's my carry system right here, A and B. And this has pretty much been a favorite of mine, this combination, for at least a couple months now. I got this one first back in, I think, October, and then I got this near the end of October, I think November-ish time frame. So I've been able to carry them for quite a while together, and I absolutely love the combination of products here. And love this holster. I've gone to a couple matches with it, and every time I'm happy to recommend them. Okay, so now we're going to talk about stability and the draw and reholster process. I said earlier in the video that I hadn't really been able to try this IWB, and I can see why. We're expecting our third child here in a couple months. So I've had to drop my belt down a little bit. My waist, I'd usually be carrying it about here, so it's been dropped about an inch, and I don't have much room inside my waistband anymore. But that hasn't stopped me from carrying this particular OWB setup. I find OWB to be more comfortable. And as far as stability is concerned, this is a wilderness instructor belt, which is pretty thick. You've got the thickness here, which is matched. Obviously, how you match your belt loop size with your belt is going to make a big difference in stability. If you have too small, too thin of a belt, you know, something like this is going to slide all over your belt. But with a good matched ratio of belt loop to belt, it's going to be much more stable. Same with over here. You can, because it's you know, Kydex, and you can slip it a little bit more forward if you want to, or a little bit further back, whatever, you know, wherever you want your setup to be. I kind of like my tools to be at the hip line or behind. Just, I find that to be a little bit easier for concealment purposes. Now, with the draw is really easy with a Kydex holster like this. You get your good grip, comes right out. You have a very easy time getting the gun out, and then you have that nice sure snap when you reholster the firearm, so it's really easy. Obviously, like I said, the retention's really good with that that nice molding around there. Same with your magazine pouch here. It's got that nice sure snap coming out, going in. With the knife, comes out pretty easily. So, and again, the belt does make a big difference in the stability of all of that. So make sure that you have a good belt combination when ordering this kind of stuff. So as far as concealment is concerned, obviously I've had to, like I said, drop my waistband down a little bit already to get underneath the baby belly. So typically, even with an OWB holster, your cover garment doesn't have to be super long, but if you're carrying it as low as I've had to carry it, I have to have a little bit longer of cover garments. So I have a couple of these longer vests that do cover completely. But obviously, if I were able to carry an IWB, I'd only have to cover to the waistline, so I could do shorter sweaters, possibly even with it being held tighter, just a shirt over top, which I'm not able to do now because of the OWB carry. But being able to just carry in something, a long sweater, does a pretty good job of concealing. So I've been able to wear this to matches and things like that. Even down in Tennessee 3 weeks ago, I shot a match with this exact cover garment on, actually. So it's really easy. You just sweep it aside and get access to your gun. You can draw. I still have very easy access to my magazine. And kind of like what I was saying earlier in the video too, when it comes to doing magazine changes, some were concerned that I would reach back and grab the knife instead of the magazine. Not been a problem for me. I can track back basically just skip right over top of the knife and get to the magazine. Draw that with no problem, insert it into the gun. So I have not found the knife to be a hindrance at all to magazine changes. This is their website, LAG Tactical, LAG Tactical.com. Their price for the holster is $70 for the IWB OWB Defender holster. And like I said, they haven't put this into production yet, so I can't say there's any particular price on that. But the options you have for this holster are pretty vast. I mean, you have color options. The makes and models that you have it available for are all your standard makes and models for all sorts of different guns. So I'm sure that if you had any question about whether or not they made it for your gun, you can just go to their website and see there. And you know, you got left, right hand, you know, angle of where you want to wear it, belt size, you know, primary use, waist size. You know, so you've got tons of all these different options that you can kind of specify and customize. And the other great thing about this particular company is all orders will be shipped within 2 weeks or less, guaranteed. I know that for a lot of people who are looking for products, you know, good holsters, especially if you're talking about, you know, kind of semi-custom like this, you can have wait periods that are pretty much insane. So having products be guaranteed to be shipped in less than 2 weeks is pretty good. There hasn't been any you know, specific care instructions. That's the great thing about Kydex. And as far as warranty and things like that, I'll let you know. Like I said, I'm going to call them about this and see if maybe they can, if I can fix it at home, I'll probably fix it at home, maybe heat it up. I don't know that much about Kydex, so I'm not sure if I've damaged it to the point where it needs to be professionally fixed. But for now, it's still, you know, working very well for its purpose. But so there you have it. Let me know what you think of the holster, what you think of the magazine sheath and magazine holder knife sheath combo, and what you think of the whole setup altogether. And go on LAGTactical.com and check them out.